How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. I'm hoping in this video here we get to finish up the log arch and be ready to put some paint on it. So let's see how it goes. This is the back of the log arch. I'm about to weld a couple of these pieces of pipe on there. One on that side and one on this side. And we'll use them for handles. They'll be able to lift up the back of the log arch and move it from one side to the other. Alright, so I'm not liking how this, I don't mind the 45 cut off here because there's really no sharp edges there. But this piece here didn't overlap the gusset that we put up and down here. So I'm not happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I got a piece of 1/4 inch steel. I'm going to cut that to go inside that pipe so far. And then I'm going to make it come down and look sort of like another gusset, just in an angle down. So it goes over top of this gusset right here. So we don't have a weak spot right in here. So I'm just going to go cut this old rusty piece of metal up and make it fit in there. Alright, there's the piece I came up with. Now it's going to need ground down once we get it in there. It should slide right inside of here. We're going to weld it into place there. And now that gets that piece up over top of this gusset right here, which is going to help the strength of this a lot. So we won't be as weak in this spot right here. I think that's going to work out really good. So we're going to go ahead and get this welded in. Alright, you can see what I did. Welded that in there and I ground that off so it's all solid. I V'd that out real good so there's plenty of weld back in there. And the reason why I left this open, I didn't cap this, is because if any water gets into that tube, I want it to be able to get out of the tube. I don't want these tubes to fill full of water and then they could break. So all these tubes are pretty much open, just besides the gussets. And if they're not open, I'll drill a little hole in them so anything that gets inside of them, say I had a bad weld and a little bit of water got inside of it, you wouldn't want that water to lay in there because it's going to rot it from the inside out. But I think this will sturdy that up pretty nice. Okay, the next big step we got to do is to put this piece here on that's actually going to attach to the four-wheeler or the tractor or whatever. So what I want to do is I want to get a couple lines because I'm going to cut this all the way through. this piece here. I want that to cut all the way through that piece of pipe, that square tubing. I don't know if I could do it, but that's the goal. This is to go all the way down through this piece and out the bottom. And then if we can get that to go all the way down and out the bottom, that's going to give that a lot of stability right here, a lot of strength. This is a tough one, but we're going to do our best to get it done the best we know how. Whew. Don't like it, but we're going to do it. I think this may be the hardest piece to put on this log arch. Now what I've done is I measured the arch up here, or leveled it, made sure that this beam was level, and then I come down here and I drew this level on this beam right here, which is the tongue that's going to hook to the four-wheeler or tractor. Then I try to get about the center of this beam, so when I weld that on there, it's pretty much lined up with the rest of the log arch. And I'm just using a little plumb ball here. So I think I have this hitch where I want it. Now we're going to have to cut some of this hitch off, but I'd rather leave it long and cut it off after we get it all welded. We can just take a 4-inch grinder and cut it off. I got a little goof up in here in the front with this piece going all the way through. I got a big gap here, but what I'll do is I'll cut a piece of that pipe and I'll cover that up, and we'll weld it into place. It'll kind of look like a little gusset. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing welded into place. I think we're ready for weld. Like I said, I do believe that this is probably the hardest part to the arch. Making sure that's all straight. And you know, don't only trust your, look at it, visually look at it too and see if it looks straight going back through there. And it looks straight with the arch, so hopefully this is going to work out. Let's get it welded into place. We'll get it tacked up, then we'll look at it and then we'll go from there. Okay, by looking at everything, it seems to look okay and on there pretty decent. We're going to go ahead and finish welding it up. We're going to go ahead and get her all welded up and then we'll work on, this is the piece. I wanted to show you my boo-boo right there. You can see I cut that weld out way too big. I was trying to get this piece back against this piece up here, and I had to keep cutting because I didn't get the right angle on it. You know, I'm not perfect either, but I'll cut a piece of this pipe and we'll mount it right around the bottom of that, and it'll just look like a small gusset in there. It'll be okay, we'll fill it in. So I'm going to go ahead and just get it all welded up. And then we'll do the little gusset and chop it off, and we'll be ready for our hitch to go on there. Alright, since we cut that big hole in there, we're going to take a piece like this. I'm going to set it down in here, get it nice and snug, and we're going to weld that piece in there. Kind of make it look like maybe we meant to do it, but we really didn't. But we'll keep that to ourselves. So I'll get that little guy welded in there, and that'll cover up that big hole I burned in there. Alright, we got our little piece welded in there. Don't look too bad. We need to clean it up a little bit. We need to clean up all these welds a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 4-inch grinder and chop this off. And then we got to get up underneath there and weld the piece that goes straight through, all the way through. We're going to weld it and then cut it off. We'll use a 4-inch grinder and whack it off. So right now we're going to work on cutting this piece off. We don't need that big hunk on there. Okay, we just drilled us a couple holes in there, and I did that before I welded it on. It was much easier to put it in the drill press and drill these holes with it off than it would be on. And I think it looks pretty good. I think that's going to make a nice hitch. Now, somehow I'll probably flip this thing on its side and do that bottom. We gotta make sure we weld this bottom of this one back here. I'm thinking that's going to be pretty sturdy. I think it'll be pretty sturdy. It's doubled up on the pipes. Nice gussets. I mean, we'll see, I guess. We get some logs in it. So we're going to get this thing flipped on its side and see if we can get that underneath welded. We got this welded up and cut off. I'm just going to grind it off a little bit. And as you guys can see, I'm using the old grinder here. I burned up 2 of them DeWalt grinders doing these projects. So I'm going to have to get me a new DeWalt grinder, that's for sure. That's on our list. That way we don't have to keep changing the blades out. We can just put a cutoff on one, a wire brush on one, and a grinder on the other one. So we're going to go ahead and get this ground up. I do honestly think that I am finished with the log arch. So I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. I think we did pretty good. I think I got everything figured out on it. The only thing I need left is a tiny bit of grinding here and there, and to get some paint on this. And Julie she agreed to help me paint this thing to make it look nice, presentable. We're hoping when we're all finished with it, it actually looks like we bought it, hopefully. That's the goal anyhow. So this will be the last time you can see the log arch looking like this. The next time you see it, it will be painted. So I would like to tell everyone out there that hung in there with this project with me, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Until next time.